Have you ever considered that your usual breakfast might be quietly affecting your health after turning 60? It might surprise you to find out that some of the everyday foods you eat each morning could raise your blood pressure, harm your kidneys, and even increase the risk of chronic illness as you grow older. If you're past 60 and want to make sure your breakfast habits aren't working against your health, then it's important you stay with us until the end of this video. We're going to go over 3 breakfast items that may be having a bigger impact on your body than you realize. By the time this video ends, you'll know not only which foods to steer clear of, but also what healthier choices you can make to feel better, boost your energy, and take care of your heart. Making these small changes can lead to real improvements in your health, from keeping your blood pressure steady to easing joint pain and inflammation. We'll also explain how these better habits can help with digestion, support brain health, and even improve how well your body absorbs medications, giving you a better shot at staying active and alert as you age. So don't go anywhere, because your breakfast choices are more connected to your overall well-being than you might think. You may not realize it, but your morning meals could be doing more harm than good. Stick around for tips that could make a real difference in how you feel every day. If you haven't subscribed yet, I suggest hitting that subscribe button and turning on the notification bell so you won't miss any future videos. Your support means a lot, and if you find this video helpful, a like and share would help us spread the message to more people. Let's get started. Number 1, processed foods. Processed foods have taken over many people's diets, especially when it comes to breakfast. With busy schedules, it's become normal to rely on quick, ready-made options. For many seniors, these meals seem like an easy fix during hectic mornings. It's common to see older adults grabbing instant oatmeal, frozen waffles, or sugary boxed cereals. They're fast, convenient, and require almost no effort. But what many people, especially seniors, don't realize is that these foods could slowly be harming their health after 60. This is something that really concerns me. It's easy to ignore the effects of these meals when they're so easily available, but the risks they carry, especially for older adults, shouldn't be brushed aside. Let's talk about someone like Robert. At 72, Robert had settled into a routine. Breakfast usually meant instant oatmeal and a packaged pastry. It was simple and quick, he recalls. It's easy to understand why he went with that routine. It saved time and didn't require much planning. But everything shifted after a visit to his doctor. He was told his blood pressure was way too high. His cholesterol levels had climbed, and his general health had taken a hit, all because of the breakfast foods he'd been relying on for years. Hearing stories like Robert's always leaves me with a heavy feeling. So many seniors just don't know how harmful these foods can be over time. It's upsetting to think that what they believe to be a safe and simple breakfast was actually doing them harm. So why exactly are processed breakfast foods a problem for people in their 60s and beyond? Dr. Williams, a senior nutrition specialist, explains it clearly. These foods often contain excessive salt, harmful preservatives, and hidden sugars, he says. As we get older, our bodies become more sensitive to these additives. What used to be harmless in your 40s might seriously affect your health by the time you reach your 60s. That explanation really hits home. As we age, our bodies don't manage sodium, sugar, or additives the way they once did. It's upsetting to think how many seniors continue eating these foods without knowing the damage they're causing, leading to problems like high blood pressure, kidney strain, and heart conditions. Let's take a closer look at what's actually in these common breakfast items. That packet of instant oatmeal you might use in a hurry, it often has around 200 milligrams of sodium. For one small meal, that's quite a bit, especially for someone already dealing with blood pressure issues. It may not seem like much, but over time, that salt adds up and can be dangerous. Then there are frozen waffles. While they might seem like a harmless treat, they're packed with preservatives that can contribute to long-term inflammation. And inflammation isn't just a minor issue, it's been linked to joint pain, heart problems, and more. These additives only make matters worse. It's hard not to feel concerned about the effects of these foods, especially when so many older adults aren't aware of what they're putting into their bodies each morning. Here's something else many seniors aren't told. After age 60, your kidneys don't handle salt the same way they used to. When we're younger, our kidneys can manage excess sodium more efficiently. But as we get older, their ability to filter out that salt drops. That means foods like bacon, sausage, and other processed breakfast meats can place extra pressure on the kidneys and raise blood pressure even higher. Dr. Williams sees this regularly in his older patients. It's upsetting to realize that something as basic as a salty breakfast can lead to so much harm. And it doesn't stop with the kidneys. Meals high in salt can raise the risk for serious health issues like stroke and heart failure. The effects might not show up right away, but they build up slowly over time and can lead to dangerous outcomes. And we can't overlook the preservatives. These chemicals are in nearly all processed foods. While they help extend shelf life, they also trigger inflammation throughout the body. If this inflammation continues unchecked, it can develop into more severe problems like heart disease, worsen arthritis symptoms, and even interfere with memory. As we grow older, we become more at risk for these health problems, and the last thing we should do is make it worse by eating processed foods. It's frustrating to think that these everyday foods are quietly doing harm. I feel very strongly about this because I've seen how it affects people I care about. Friends and patients who spent years eating these items, unaware of the risks they were taking. If you're still watching this video and find the information helpful, please type 1 in the comments to let me know you're still with me. There's some good news. Many of Dr. Williams's patients notice real improvements when they stop eating processed breakfast items. It's not a miracle fix, but it's definitely a move in the right direction. People say they feel more energetic, their joint pain eases up, and their blood pressure improves in some cases. But here's the surprising part. Many food brands are now promoting so-called healthy processed meals aimed specifically at older adults. These breakfast shakes, bars, and frozen meals often say they're packed with vitamins and minerals to support health. But Dr. Williams urges his patients to be skeptical. Just because something has added vitamins doesn't mean it's healthy, he explains. I couldn't agree more. These products often still contain refined sugars, harmful preservatives, and other ingredients that aren't good for long-term health. The message is simple. Don't let fancy labels or added nutrients fool you. Many of these supposedly healthy items still don't support your body the way real food can. Here's the truth. Processed breakfast foods may be easy and fast, but they're far from ideal for older people. They might save time, but they can come at a serious cost to your health. As we age, our bodies change, and we can't eat the same way we used to. We need to make better choices, choices that match the needs of our bodies now. Number 2, foods high in refined sugar. Now let's take a closer look at another hidden risk that many older adults, especially those over 60, don't always recognize: breakfast foods that are high in refined sugar. You might think that having something sweet in the morning is just a small comfort, a way to start the day on a pleasant note. Who doesn't enjoy a pastry or a glass of juice with breakfast? But what many seniors don't realize is that this habit, which feels harmless, can quietly lead to serious health problems. These problems often develop slowly and don't show symptoms until it's too late. Sugar, particularly refined sugar, becomes more of a problem as we age, and the effects can be serious. Take Linda as an example. At 70, she believed her breakfast habits were good for her. She'd drink a glass of orange juice, eat a sweetened yogurt, and have a fruit Danish. To her, it felt like a healthy, balanced way to start the day. She was eating fruit, getting some dairy, and allowing herself a small treat. But things changed after a routine doctor's visit, where she was diagnosed with type 2 diabetes. It completely caught her off guard. I was stunned, Linda said. I had no idea how much sugar I was really eating every morning. I truly thought I was making smart choices. Her doctor had to sit down with her and explain the actual sugar content of her meals. That's when she realized her breakfast was overloaded with sugar. Dr. Williams, who treated Linda, explains why sugar becomes more dangerous past the age of 60. As we get older, our ability to process sugar gets worse. When you're younger, your pancreas can produce insulin efficiently to manage blood sugar. But as you age, that process slows down. So when you eat sugar, your body struggles more to deal with it, which leads to sharper and more harmful spikes in blood sugar. These spikes can lead to conditions like insulin resistance, type 2 diabetes, and a higher risk for heart-related issues. Dr. Williams often uses a simple but powerful way to explain this to his patients. He shows them that an average breakfast can sometimes contain more sugar than 4 candy bars. Those fruit-flavored yogurts that look healthy often have the same amount of sugar as a scoop of ice cream. That glass of orange juice might not have added sugar, but it's packed with natural sugars from several fruits. And without the fiber that helps slow sugar absorption, it hits the bloodstream fast. Even cereals that are marketed as heart healthy often contain more sugar in one serving than a chocolate chip cookie. It's easy to get misled by packaging, and older adults are often the most at risk of falling for these claims. Let's take a closer look at what actually goes on in your body after eating a breakfast loaded with sugar. Just minutes after finishing your meal, your blood sugar spikes sharply. The pancreas, already under pressure as you get older, has to work even harder to release insulin and manage the sudden sugar overload. Your body's first reaction is to produce more insulin to bring the sugar under control. But here's the problem. As time passes, your body becomes less efficient at making insulin and using it properly. This decline makes it tougher to keep blood sugar steady, adding more pressure on your organs and bodily systems. What follows is even more troubling. Dr. Williams often cautions his patients about what tends to happen roughly 2 hours after eating a sugar-heavy breakfast. The same blood sugar levels that rose so quickly will eventually drop just as fast. This drop isn't just uncomfortable, it can actually be risky, especially for older adults. When sugar levels fall, you might feel tired, jittery, or easily irritated. That sudden dip often makes you feel hungry again, and unfortunately, many older people reach for more sugary snacks to fix the issue, without realizing they're making things worse. While the quick comfort of another sweet bite might feel good at first, it actually deepens the problem, leading to another sugar crash and even more instability in your blood sugar. Over time, this cycle can become a deeply rooted habit. Many seniors end up stuck in it, not realizing how harmful it can be. As the body's ability to manage sugar naturally weakens with age, paying attention to your meals becomes even more important. What's especially alarming is that a lot of foods that seem healthy at first glance are packed with hidden sugars. Take that fruit-flavored yogurt, for instance. It's often advertised as a healthy pick, but it can be loaded with sugar that isn't immediately obvious. The same thing goes for fruit juices. A glass of freshly squeezed juice may seem wholesome, but it often contains high amounts of natural sugars and lacks the fiber needed to slow down absorption. And don't forget about breakfast cereals. Even the ones that claim to be heart-friendly or packed with vitamins can be nothing more than sugar in disguise. It's easy to overlook these sources, but they can have a serious impact on your well-being. Margaret, one of Dr. Williams' patients, went through something similar. She always tried to eat well, but when her blood sugar was tested, she was shocked to see how high it went after her morning meals. "I had no idea I was eating so much sugar," she admits. "I really thought I was choosing the right foods. But now I understand even so-called healthy items can be risky if you're not checking their sugar content." The unfortunate reality is that many seniors don't find out about these dangers until their health is already affected. The upside is that with proper knowledge and some simple adjustments, it's possible to get out of the sugar trap and gain better control of your blood sugar. Starting the day with a balanced breakfast that includes fiber, good fats, and protein can help avoid those sharp rises and drops in blood sugar. Choosing whole fruits instead of juice, going for plain yogurt rather than sweetened kinds, and staying alert to hidden sugars can really make a big difference. These small changes not only help improve how you feel day by day, but also lower the risk of developing conditions like type 2 diabetes, heart problems, and excess weight. Number 3, foods high in saturated fats. Fats, especially the kinds found in many classic breakfast items, can also be dangerous as we age. Think about popular morning favorites like crispy bacon, greasy sausage, and rich buttery pastries. They might seem like simple pleasures to start the day, but for older adults, these foods can quietly affect long-term health. Take David, a 75-year-old man, for example. He had always believed in having a big breakfast to give himself the strength he needed for the day ahead. His usual morning meal included 2 fried eggs, 3 pieces of bacon, and a couple slices of buttered toast. This had been his routine for years, and he truly believed it was keeping his energy levels up. "I always thought I needed a solid breakfast at my age," David says, shrugging. "It was the kind of meal I believed would help me power through the day." If you're still watching this video and finding the information useful, it wasn't until a regular checkup that David's doctor noticed something troubling in his blood test results. "My cholesterol numbers were sky high," David remembers, still sounding surprised. That moment was a wake-up call. What he once thought of as a satisfying breakfast turned out to be quietly harming his heart. He had no idea how risky those foods were for someone in his age group. Dr. Williams, a well-known cardiologist, breaks down why fatty foods become even more of a problem as we get older. As we age, our metabolism slows down naturally. That means our body no longer handles fats as easily as it used to. He points out that those high-fat breakfast choices that might have seemed fine in our younger years can now start to take a serious toll on our health, especially when it comes to the heart and overall energy. What's especially concerning is that aging doesn't just reduce our ability to burn fat, it also increases our sensitivity to fat's harmful effects. Eating greasy, high-fat meals in the morning forces the body to work much harder to break everything down, which means it has less energy to focus on important things like cell repair, maintaining energy, or supporting general wellness. It's a tough truth to accept, but many comfort foods we once thought were harmless now play a more dangerous role in our overall health. One of the worst offenders is saturated fat, which is very common in popular breakfast items like bacon, sausage, ham, and even buttered baked goods such as croissants. Croissants, for example, are loaded with saturated fat. This type of fat is especially harmful because it raises LDL cholesterol, commonly known as bad cholesterol. When LDL levels go up, plaque can build up in the arteries, and over time that can lead to serious blockages, increasing the risk of heart disease, stroke, or even heart attacks. For older adults, this danger is even greater. As we grow older, arteries naturally lose flexibility and become more fragile, making them more vulnerable to damage and less able to handle plaque buildup caused by high-fat diets. It becomes a harmful cycle, one that often goes unnoticed until serious health problems begin. Dr. Williams has seen this pattern many times in his own patients. "Many of my patients aren't aware of how a fatty breakfast can drain their energy for the rest of the day," he says. Most people don't realize that high-fat meals are much harder to digest. So when you eat them in the morning, your body uses up a big portion of its energy just trying to process the food, leaving you feeling tired, foggy, and less productive for the rest of the day. For seniors, this becomes a major concern because we need that energy to stay physically and mentally active. There's also the issue of inflammation that often flies under the radar. Dr. Williams points out that eating too much saturated fat, especially first thing in the morning, can trigger inflammation throughout the body. This is not just a minor issue for seniors. It can contribute to more serious, long-lasting problems like joint discomfort, digestive issues, or a higher chance of developing conditions like arthritis and diabetes. The kind of inflammation caused by a high-fat diet acts slowly, but it can impact everything, from how you feel emotionally to how well you can move, seriously lowering your quality of life. Take Martha, for instance. She's a 68-year-old who used to enjoy having a buttery croissant as part of her morning routine. I always thought croissants were a better option than bacon and eggs, so I figured they were healthier, she says with a bit of regret. But what Martha didn't know was that those light, flaky layers were actually packed with saturated fat. Just one butter croissant can contain as much saturated fat as 4 slices of bacon. She had no idea her choice of breakfast was affecting her health so much. It wasn't until she faced some troubling health symptoms that she began to understand the real impact. The truth is, all these fatty breakfast items, whether it's bacon, sausage, buttery baked goods, or even creamy coffee drinks, can do more harm than good, especially for older adults. Our bodies no longer process fat the way they once did when we were younger. While having these foods now and then might not seem like a big deal, eating them often can lead to serious health risks down the line. What's especially worrying is that many older people like Martha or David don't realize the impact these fatty meals are having on their heart, energy, and overall health until it's too late. This isn't only about making better food choices, it's about recognizing how much the things we eat can affect us as we get older. As the years go by, it becomes more important to rethink what we eat in the morning and be careful about what we put on our plates. For seniors, breakfast should be more than just a meal to fill up. It should be a source of real, lasting fuel that supports heart health, energy, and longer life. Even small, positive changes in our diet can bring noticeable improvements in how we feel every day. Sometimes the tiniest change, like swapping greasy bacon for something heart-healthy, can make a big difference over time. If you found this video helpful, don't forget to hit the like button, share it with your loved ones, and subscribe to our channel for more helpful tips on staying healthy as you age. Thanks for watching, and remember, your heart deserves care every day.